Hey, you want to try to... This will be difficult, but let's...
Ooh.
Actually, no, wait. I think I am
Mm,
already doing
I like
this.
setting on difficult.
Never mind. I'll...
Unless, of course, difficult is not the highest difficulty, in which case I will do the
God
suicide
damn it.
or subvariant thereof. Because I am into pain, and that is why I am like a Dark Souls,
That was
the video
beautiful.
game.
No, I followed, and I
Thank you.
think any one of our 10 listeners might also follow.
10?
That is correct.
That is unreal. Are people tracking this? Are they paying attention to what's happening in this corner of the
I
podverse?
guess they must be. We got a double-digit number of listeners, Mr. Stewart.
a big bang has occurred in the podverse, and it is coming to supplant everyone else. So watch out, Mark Maron.
That's right. It's nigh, baby.
Joe Rogan, other top podcasters, Terry Gross.
Yeah, you watch out,
hot.
Terry Gross. And you know what? You too, Dave Davies.
While you're at it, Dave. Hey, Ira. And I'm doing for our listeners, which is everyone but Chris. I'm doing like I've got my eye on you, but to Ira Glass, host of This American Life, one of my favorites, which treats me on the way home, where I usually come in about 2/3 of the way through. But I like to imagine.
Is that a tear I see?
Just a small one, a manly one.
A manly one.
Yes, it gets lost in the beard. The beard suffocates.
Well,
We can't have
to
that.
bring you back up, I guess we should launch into our show. We actually got a few pleasant news items before we talk about the main thing we wanna chat about today.
Yes, the dweebs would not let us off the hook. They said, "Fellas, we must have some good news." Like the Jonathan Krasinski
We know.
thing.
We hear ya.
We get it. So we'll give you a little dose of it right off the top. Because also no one's talking about good news, is what I've noticed. We covered last time that no one is talking about bad news, but
That was a bit of a fib.
it goes both ways. Depends on your definition of fib. Fib.
Well, anyway, our first piece of good news, speaking of fibs, is the feds that are reopening their investigation into what's-his-face, Officer Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd. So that's a nice piece of like, hey, you know, not everything is awful. That's good.
Sure. we'll see what happens, but yes, it is a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. And I guess the other bit of good news is Johnson & Johnson has a one-shot vaccine that's probably going to get, recommended for authorization on Friday. So that's fun.
85%. For some reason, the story that I was listening to specifically described it as like, after human trials in Africa. Like, I don't, just something about the way they said it was just like...
I mean, no, it's fucked up. All the vaccines are getting tested on, like, people in African nations, and then African nations are getting charged out the ass to actually get the vaccine, even though the vaccines were fucking tested there. Oh, yeah. I guess...
that Ghana just got a big shipment.
Did you just say Bono, like the lead singer of U2?
No. I'm sure he also was pretty high up on the list, but no, the country of Ghana.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That's a COVAX thing.
Who we lost to in the World Cup a while ago.
You know, we deserved it, I'm sure. There's a bitty,
you know who didn't deserve
bit of a coffee break there for both of us.
Yes. Leave it in.
Oh, yeah. We don't edit on this show. Except for those sweet, tasty jams by Future Cooperative, who is actually going to write us a fucking theme song. And we're going to have a little intro, like probably by the third episode, which is really exciting.
By the that's like so
Yeah.
soon. We might even have 11 listeners at
Oh
that point.
my God.
We could lose listeners. The likelihood that we lose listeners is much
We might
higher
have
this
4
time around.
listeners at that time.
That's all right. 2 dweebs, 2 doofuses.
We'll take them.
That's enough.
They're probably together. They're probably co-listening, so it'll actually be 2 listeners before people.
Can we ship them? Can we ship our listeners?
I already do. I don't know who they are.
Yes,
but I ship them.
Here's the thing: are the two dweebs together, and the 2 doofuses, or is it double Romeo and Juliet?
Wow. Opposites attract, as the bard would say.
Ooh.
Except he wouldn't say anything like that, probably.
Maybe I can't think of one specifically, but
I don't know.
People that know more about Shakespeare.
Yeah, there are definitely many people who aren't us who know a lot about Shakespeare.
Who know anything? Who know anything? Really? There are lots of people who aren't us that know
things. But that's not why you're here.
No, you're here for the night, guys. And a darling doomsday to you, Mr. Widin. Slip it in there.
And an awesome Armageddon to you.
You're really good at that.
Thank you.
That's the second week in a row.
We'll keep testing me, I guess. We'll see. One of these days I'm gonna sit in silence for 30 seconds trying to think of something.
Which we will also
that
will not be edited.
Just enjoy the silence on the day that happens.
We might play a little Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah, I don't know if we can get the rights to play Simon and Garfunkel.
We'll play 3 seconds of Simon and Garfunkel.
We'll cut up different parts of the song.
It's a good plan. I can't see any way that could possibly go wrong or not work out in our favor.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be a huge hit. Especially since we planned and spoke about what we were going to do, in a recorded fashion that we're releasing to the public space.
We did do that. We have done an okay to mediocre job of keeping to that. But in keeping with that,
here we go.
What do you want to talk? You want to talk about Simps? You want to talk about?
Ooh, let's mention Simps before we get to the main thing.
Okay, I just and this was because we didn't get it in last week, but
you don't get Simps in the news often, so
you really not like this.
Okay, I mean the word.
CNN Health, also of all places that this article could feature, and it is a sad article. I do want to get that out of the way. I'm not making fun of the people involved. It is more just the fact that CNN was somehow forced to define the word.
They were like, "Oh, our readers are not going to know what this is."
Right. Which is very funny in and of itself. But the headline is, "The new slang teens use to insult boys who are, quote, too nice to girls." They go on in the article to, there's an entire subheader. What is a simp?
God damn.
It just sounds like you have stumbled into the exact wrong neighborhood in one of the Chans.
Yeah, it's.
But they say, while many parents might be unfamiliar with the word simp, chances are your tween or teen has used or at least heard the term.
Of course.
I did not know this. The simp hashtags on Instagram has over 350,000 posts tagged with hashtag simp.
Honestly, that's smaller than I would have guessed.
I have not looked it up yet, but I absolutely need to. And then it gives an etymology for simp.
No.
Yes.
I love this.
It gives, oh God, something about boys to men. Urban Dictionary. CNN is citing Urban Dictionary.
I mean, hey, sometimes you just got to.
Source.
Sometimes you just don't know what you're gonna get in the definition department.
Fairly tame for them. It's just someone who does way too much for a person they like. Then it goes on to a man who puts hose before bras.
There it is.
Yeah. Modus operandi. So that's one of my two stories.
Well, I'm excited about that. That honestly made me think of something that I wasn't even going to mention, but simp related in that it's like internet, gamer sort of thing. The fucking state legislator in Chicago who is proposing a law to outlaw the sale of like M-rated violent games in the state as a whole. Like, it's not going to pass, but it is.
Are we doing this again?
It's happening again. I mean, and he's specifically blaming GTA and saying that it's like up to for like encouraging people to commit carjackings across the city. It's like, recent carjackings wouldn't be caused by GTA, which is a game involving carjackings that's been around for like almost a decade, or maybe a decade. I don't even know at this point.
GTA has been around for a long ass time.
Exactly.
The last one was 5, and I mean some of them aren't even like titled.
No, I mean it's the idea of proposing this law is like, come on, there have been so many studies at this point done on how game violence and like content with violence does not have a real connection to fucking real world violence. That's just not how it works.
No, it's not. It's not at all how it works. But GTA has been around since 1997. Do you honestly believe? And also Columbine happened in the interim, and we had a ton of parents blaming like super violent video games.
Yeah, no.
And lots of commissions.
School shooters tend to be like fucking Nazis, and that's why they're evil people.
Yeah. A lot of them have like the same like Dylan Roof bullshit every time that they find. No, I mean it's another classic. This guy a Republican? Do you know?
I think so. I do not know.
It sounds very Republican-y. Because it sounds like another thing that. Which, I mean, right now we're just going to pick on Arizona Republicans because they're the ones that are doing it the most.
Making it so easy right now.
Right, because they just proposed that basically the legislature would have like the final say over the electors, the slate of electors that they send. Like basically, like so much of these laws that they're trying to pass are like indirect. Instead of like going back, it's incredible. Instead of like doing any sort of research, like finding out like how to get more people into their tent, all they ever do is pass legislation that makes it more difficult for certain types of people to vote, so that then just all they're left is, well, look at that. Looks like we just up a bunch of votes. Isn't that zany? No, it's not fucking zany, my dude. You sat there and you made it very difficult for all the people that don't like you to vote against you, and then you just take whatever is left. It's oh my god, everything everything boils down to that.
Yeah, it needs we need a do-over. I mean, it's just like we did it wrong, guys. It was a nice try, but let's back to the drawing board, maybe.
Back to the drawing board.
That shouldn't be fucking possible.
Well, it's just, and more Republicans are just, I mean, they've always been the anti-democratic party. And I mean that as in like, they are anti-democracy.
No,
they are, every action that they do is in direct opposition to most democratic ideals. And now they're like not even being coy about it. Like that asshole senator that's like, we're a representative republic. It's like, yeah, I fucking know what we are. Okay, I understand like the fucking organizational principles of the goddamn government. I'm saying in spirit, we should be doing things that are democratic. You fucking asshole! Like, Any Hoosiers. I'm not. It's good what they're doing, and I am happy about it.
That
And this isn't even the only.
was a
I
life-giving
mean,
rant.
we will talk plenty of shit about some Democrats on the show, believe you me. But right now, this particular week, most of the assholes are GOPers, including this South Dakotan Attorney General.
Oh, buckle up, everyone. This is a fabulous tale.
This is incredible to me for so many different reasons. Well, give me a second to pull it up. The Attorney General. Yeah. All right. I'm also just going to go ahead and say I have not committed to learning how to pronounce this guy's name because I just fucking hate him so much that I do not respect him enough to even give it a good go. I'm sure this information is readily available anywhere, but like this guy, this fucking asshole.
I assume it's like Rovens whatever, right?
Ravensburg.
Yeah.
Jason. Of course his name is fucking Jason.
Jason.
My God, just look at this tired, washed out sack of shit frat boy. Oh, so like, all right, quick. I guess let's just go over, but do look up a picture of him. This guy fucking sucks. Just
Jason
South Dakota
Ravensburg. Oop.
I hate him because you could just like tell so much about him just based on his face.
I see your politics, which are clear based on the literal crime he took. How little he values others.
Oh, including human life, because that's what this story is about. In September, he struck and killed 55-year-old Joseph Bover with his vehicle and then didn't report it until the next morning. Okay? So, that's kind of, he called 911 the night of, right? And I was like, I think I hit a deer. And they're like, are you okay, Jason? The fucking dispatcher's on a first name basis with this asshole, right? Like, ugh. And he's like, yeah, but like my car sure as shit isn't. Which like that's what he said the night of, which is just infuriating. Because at this point, you are presuming that he is out of the car and he is aware that he has killed somebody. Okay?
Yeah.
It either has to be that or he was so fucking obliterated that he didn't realize it. Like those are the only two realities I can imagine as to why he would, for reasons that will become clear in a bit.
Yeah, you'll understand why this binary exists.
Yeah, why it can only be one of the two. So in his story, though, he goes, and why he is not like in fucking handcuffs right now, even though he absolutely should be, is because he then went back the next morning and was like, oh no, did I do that? Or, like acting like he had no fucking, and then calls the people. And I mean, he killed this guy, right?
This is a dead person.
Fucking killed this guy, manslaughter or no. Like the series of events is incredibly disturbing and gets even more so when the I think it was his own office like released the fact that he had been interviewed. Right, so they kept the interviewers kept asking him about, the investigators kept asking him about
investigating the death of
whether
this
or
man.
not, yes, whether or not he wore glasses, the attorney general. And he's like, no, I don't wear glasses. And then they keep asking him about like, are you sure you don't wear like any reading glasses or anything? He's like, no, I don't wear glasses. And then they go on to tell him that there were glasses found in his car. And then they said, quote, they're Joe's glasses. So that means his face came through your windshield. An investigator tells Ravensburg, who lets out an obvious gasp and says, quote, I wondered about that.
What an ass!
You wondered about fucking what, my guy? You wonder why that deer you hit was wearing glasses? You wonder how these glasses just ended up... What do you mean I wondered about that? Like, what scenario? Can you imagine any sort of scenario in which this is legit, in which his like hands are clean and he's just like hunky dory, everything's fine.
He's literally using the defense of, oh, I didn't like. He's basically just going, did I do that? Like, it's just like, what, man? And how painful this is. By the way, the person he struck and killed, just to mention their name, is Joseph Boever, and I'm sure his family is not fucking pleased with their AG, and is also, not enjoying the fact that while it may very well have been an accidental, death, it's still like, this guy is responsible, and he's acting like he just like has no responsibility for it at all. It's like, well, I hit somebody, and is like, if his face fucking went through your windshield, you knew about it, Buster. Like,
yeah. It's not just that this happened, that he killed somebody. It's that like there is some kind of weird covering up or intentional like gaslighting and trying to like make sure that the facts aren't quite right. I mean, like there's just like too many strange aspects to this story where it's like, you did something. You made some decisions that night, and now you're just like, what? Dude, I have fought for, like, so many personal rights, like, in this state. Do you even that was me. I did that. Like, that was, like, part of his statement.
It's like that doesn't change the fact that you ran a man over with your car. Yeah.
Literally fucking killed somebody, that they're dead now, and here's like the kicker, lest we forget, he is refusing to step down.
Yeah, that's like, the craziest part. Oh like, my god.
No, like, kind of go away though, and he's like, what'd I do?
Even the governor is asking him to step down, right?
Right, even fucking Christy, no.
Is that what she sounds like? I've never heard her speak before.
No, she's very annoying. She does not sound like that. The things she does
sound like that.
Yes, exactly. It oh my god, this is just such an unbelievable story.
It's insane.
Were it not so like incredibly
typical.
Believable.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is like, how is that typical?
Like 2 days until there's a Netflix doc on it. Like, holy shit, they're probably already sending the crew there now.
Oh my god, Jason Bateman's gonna play the lead. Have a Jason Ravensborg. He's gonna win the Oscar. The emotionally complex villain, portrayed brilliantly by...
He's not emotionally complex. My car is damaged! You say to the dispatcher after you've just killed somebody.
Yeah, primary...
Like, pretty sure, since, his face came through your windshield, you are aware at this juncture that you have killed somebody.
Yeah, when he was on the phone with the dispatcher at one point, the dispatcher asked the usual question, "Are you injured at all?" And Ravensburg responded, "I am not, but my car sure as hell is, because, of the body sticking out of my windshield."
Fucking... My car is... Poor car. What do you do with the bike? Do you just leave the bike? Well, I guess we don't even know if there's a bike.
Oh yeah, is that the idea that Jason was biking? Not Jason, Joe. They're two J names. My bad.
No, I think it is Jason.
Well, no, he was in a car.
No. Joe. Yeah, no, Joe. Okay, this part we might edit out because we're gonna sound foolish. Joseph. Over. We can't let our fans know we're fools. They'll be shocked.
They will not believe it.
It's gonna ruin their worlds.
Oh, embarrassing.
Break up the relationship. It's gonna be a new riv. The dweebs thought we were smart. Yeah. What an absolute exemplary piece of shit.
Yeah, and speaks to kind of, that's like one of those weird, beautiful, real life let's have like a philosophical argument examples that you'd make up to like talk about how the Republican Party is just like a leech on our society. Is like is like this guy doing this is like, well, I don't even need to make the argument, guys. It's that's the that would be the hypothetical you'd come up with.
Right.
What that real man did.
But some good news from our dear friends over at Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera?
Oh, yes. Yeah, let's talk about rightly, because Al Jazeera has decided
rightly so, if I may. Don't let me, Chris.
I can do nothing over a virtual call. I can't control him.
You could make me sound. You could give me like a really stupid filter right now, so I sound even dumber than normal.
Oh, that sounds like work. I would want to do that, but
yeah. Sounds like I have to find the filter. I'd have to learn how to apply it.
What is that, like 20 minutes of my life I'll never get back?
Long. Who has the time?
Unbelievable. Well, no, yeah. So Al Jazeera, the brilliant Qatar-owned, famously lefty sort of news outlet that they are, has decided to launch a right-wing conservative media outlet that I think only exists online right now. It's unclear what its growth will be, but it's called Rightly. And it's hosted, there's one show on it right now called Right Now, ooh, clever, hosted by Stephen Kent.
Oh, no, you didn't mention that.
A little whiny, pale man. He's just got one of those voices.
A real man after Ben Shapiro's heart.
Oh my God. He really is. He's like the blonde Ben Shapiro, basically. That's how he kind of comes off. A little less... I
assure you, I do not mean that...
Ben Shapiro's worse, for sure.
Anyway. Yes.
Yeah.
Terrible. But I understand that you consume some of this right-wing media, and you now wish to pledge your loyalty to the ideals of the intergalactic capitalist empire of Merca.
I serve at the pleasure of
the dollar. Who is just a dollar bill?
who is a really old dollar bill?
Our God King is just a physical dollar bill, the last remaining.
God. Yep. So I watched the first like 15 minutes of this first Rightly video on YouTube. Would not recommend. It's pretty. So it opens and they do a nice little ooh, look at us. We're not crazy rightists. Our background is open brick, like a 40-year-old gay man's apartment. With like, ooh, all this exposed brick lit up in blue because, we're not like crazy right people. It's not red. It's in blue. And Stephen Kent opens with a higher pitched voice than I want the lead anchor of a show to have. Oop. Am I still recording? Oh, hell yeah.
It worked.
And he opens and it's whatever. And then he goes on. Basically, the show opens with him like, this is Rightly, and like he briefly introduces the whole thing, and like. It seems like they kind of say that he says that he's saying what the show is going to be about and what like ostensibly I guess their mission statement is, but it's super vague, and it seems like their mission statement is basically going to allow them to just like go whichever direction gets them the most views and profitability.
Sure. Yes.
So unclear, I think, where they're going at this point, but so far the show with smiley faces, young people in their early 30s, talking the news and sounding kind of millennial-y, but then also criticizing millennials as a generation for some reason, and then going into this whole...
It's
Yeah.
because they didn't write any of this.
Oh,
This is still
oops.
written to appeal to older people, I think, predominantly, that like to pretend that younger people are in there. And then
God.
maybe get in some of those younger people just as like a byproduct.
Yeah. I mean, probably true. Not for Stephen Kent, who is a former Fox News staffer. He probably believes all this shit. But like the dude, it ended up being, at least I only, like I said, only watched the first 15 minutes of it. But this weird bit about millennials kind of turned into a bad faith critique of younger voters basically being anti-capitalist and being like, oh, but they're socialists, but they own iPhones, which is, I guess, making the stupid argument that like if you're socialist, you can't participate in capitalism, even though you have to participate if you live in a capitalist economy in order to, I don't know, survive. So what a ridiculous idea that you like have to live a socialist life to be a socialist. It's like, no, we live in capitalism, so we understand that it ain't good, and we're open to trying out some other stuff. Like, that's just
unlike
called
you, which is got to
thinking.
be all or nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. It was a very bizarre show. A lot of mention of Trump in this. Like I will congratulate the show on this front. This perfect towing of the line to where you couldn't tell if they were pro-Trump or anti-Trump in like the right-wing view, which I thought was very impressive, but also makes me even more distrustful of like the motives of this new show on the part of Al Jazeera. Like it's so in the middle that it's like, oh, you're just trying to figure it out as you go. This is just a money thing.
and the middle being like not even the proper middle, but like the middle in between far right fucking fascist wing of the Republican Party. And then like the ones that are like, no, we enjoyed it better when we could do like capitalist horrors behind closed doors and people weren't aware of the fact people couldn't see the strings. You're showing her hand. Don't tell them about the white supremacy.
Don't. Oh no, you told them. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, Nazis to invade the Capitol. Don't.
No.
Not a lot of fun.
Amazing.
Insurrections are not good for business. The only reason that Mitch McConnell is saying anything. You think Mitch McConnell gives two shits about like
oh my god,
our the integrity of our government? Fuck you. You knocked out each of the pillars one by one. You pulled a hat trick in destroying the branches of government. So
actually,
forgive me.
Mitch McConnell is like maybe like the world's worst magician at the 3-year-old giant birthday bash that is this country. That was fun to make up. It wasn't very good as a metaphor, but I enjoyed coming up with it.
3 dead rabbits, kid.
They were alive when I woke up this morning.
They were alive when he was putting them in the hat.
God damn!
I'm not even really
I was swallowing
this metaphor, other than the fact that Mitch McConnell just sucks.
Yeah,
which I stand by. I mean, he's an awful human being. He has just time and time again absolutely obliterated everything that was good. He is just absolutely. I blame him for like obliterating anything resembling a need for an upper chamber. I mean, yes, and like your Ted Cruz's and your Josh Hawley's and
but nobody likes them.
Kennedy sucks a lot. Who's that guy that it's Minnesota that keeps like
the Dem Mansion?
Insurrection. No. That's the West Virginia. He is like just this week he was like bringing up some bullshit article in the hearings of the insurrection that's like, well, I heard that it was Antifa and BLM, so like have you considered that? I was like, are you a sitting member of the upper chamber. Like, I mean, that's why, like, when they talk about, oh, this august chamber, like, this austere, it's like, fuck you. You know, like, no, it's not. You've ruined everything. You have gotten as down and dirty as politics can get in this country, and then you want to tell me that we still need some bullshit ancient thing like a filibuster? For what purpose?
You're not being racist, of course.
Right. You're not different from the other chamber. You're exactly the fucking same now. So there's no goddamn reason to still have these like differences between the two of them. Besides the origin of certain bills, like I'm fine with that, I guess.
Yeah.
But and like their different roles and things like impeachment, but like otherwise, like that's the worst pro filibuster argument to me, is the one that's just like, oh, it's this it's because like this the upper chamber is right. You can't. It's worked all this time. It's like, but it hasn't.
But no, it's
the opposite. Ugh. In fact, when has it ever worked?
It's only ever served to hurt people.
Look, I'm not gonna attempt. Should we transition?
Ooh, I think that was it. That was the cut to music. It was my pick this week for our little bad content section of the episode, and I chose the Netflix anime Kakegurui, which is a show about a bunch of rich, I guess, high schoolers who
high schoolers.
Yeah,
but I don't really want to think about that part too much.
Yeah, but don't want to think about that part too much, because outside of any class time, which is like the only real part of the show that you ever see, they are just running ramshod with this insane school-wide gambling ring that like indebts and enslaves students to other students. It's and like
mistakes. I was also like doing the conversion rates on like the bets they're making. And it's like, holy shit, that's like $90,000. What the fuck are you doing? I get that this is supposed to be like some kind of like uppity private school, but holy fuck.
It is crazy. Not to mention the like insane psychosexual energy of like every character in the show.
Yeah. No, I didn't even know if we were going to touch on that, because like I've only seen the first episode, but like it is one of the thirstiest anime I've seen, and I include things like Food Wars in that. Where like somehow it's almost worse because like it's not like even really addressed or touched upon. It's just like, all right, and they're like kissing in the intro and like pressing up against each other, and a lot of butt shots, a lot of upskirt.
Lot of upskirt. It is horrendous. It is a terrible show, but it's just too bad to like not complete. Like I've seen multiple episodes, because once one starts, it's just impossible to tear yourself away. You're just like, I can't believe this exists. Oh, and excuse me, I have to mention maybe the most terrifying mouths of any show.
Yes, how can we forget? Like they're already just like slightly too large, just like when they're normal, but then they get into like these like crazy like like they just go. I mean, like, of course that's like a pretty standard anime trope, but like it is shoved in places where you're like, why are you talking to me this way? Like,
well, and it's like
I'll be here at this time later.
It's like crazy, because it's usually when it's done in anime, it's like a little goofy and it's funny. In this show, it's like it literally looks like their heads cracked open and like extra teeth grew, and like
it's like weird. This weird like semi horror undercurrent to it. And then also, like, do we want to talk about how like hilariously complex the actual games are? Like,
oh my god,
in the world would think to make rock paper scissors that convoluted in it? And that part was actually kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
it was like
they like invent fucking games for the show, and they tell you the rules, and you're like, that sounds like a fun game, actually.
God, it's just very strange. The opening in the closing are still just like on a level of what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Like, do you think that it would almost be like a James Bond open where like
It
a
has
lot of
that
it
vibe.
like a Casino Royale open more so where like a lot of it is like card based, you know? I mean, it's all
Yeah.
about like poker is like one of the main games in it. You would think that there'd be more like chips. And it's like, okay, that's good, but hear me out. Let's have them be kind of like underwater at a feast where they're eating each other and also fucking. What? What? Yeah, and a lot of skirts.
I already drew
Why?
it.
No.
Well,
I already. Yeah, sorry. It's done. It's done. I mean, you can go ahead and find the music, I guess, for it if you want, but like it's out of our hands. That's set in stone. I
it
don't know what the show
exists.
is about, but this is the opening for it.
The show was spawned from the intro.
They're like, oh yeah, we outsourced the intro, and this is what they came back to us with, and we just had you know how Netflix is. We had a deadline to meet, so we just.
And I
Oh,
I don't
man.
know if this show comes from like any manga series or is like referential to any like deeply pornographic piece of content that already exists, but it is in video form pretty goddamn amazing.
Yeah, there's plenty of just like very thirsty undertones to a lot of manga and anime, especially that takes place in schools. But like, what was so strange about this is how little sexuality had to do with anything else that was going on. Like, it
That's
was not
true.
mentioned. It was not okay. But besides the boys like ogling over the new girl, right,
Yeah.
when she shows, oh, dude, like, she's really hot. She's mine. I guess like the slavery thing has a pseudo-sexual energy to it as well. But apart from that, like there's nothing. I don't know, man. It's really weird, and it is strangely problematic to be
In like
produced
every way.
right. Like every single thing is like, ooh, is that how you want to do that? I don't know that.
Okay.
All right.
Slavery, huh? Oh, all right.
Right. Child gambling, underage sex, gotta be happening.
Yeah. Not to mention when the show continues, you can see only it's not really in the first episode at all, but they have just they have some mentally ill characters who enter the show, and oh boy, they do not do a good job of portraying anyone in that respect.
Oh no, I'd imagine it's pretty all around and shall we say comprehensively problematic. Problematic to a thoroughly degree.
To a granular level.
God. I would say it is bad. It's for sure bad. Don't get me wrong. It's very bad. I
Oh yeah.
would be lying if I say that I was enjoying it. I was cringing almost the entire time, but like it was that sort of fun cringe. Like, let's see if it gets worse. You know?
Yeah,
it is.
it did. And I mean that's why I think I've seen like the first 6 episodes of this because I was watching it with a friend like years ago, my roommate at the time, great human being, and we were both like getting stoned and we were like, "Hey, that looks silly. Let's put it on." Could not stop watching it. We watched like 3 in a row right there. We were just like, this, I've never seen anything like this. And then like our other roommate came down and we both like looked over our shoulders real quick like we were doing something wrong.
Look at us. We're disgusting.
We are worms.
Oh. But that's what's kind of fun about anime. Not all anime, obviously. But I mean, holy shit. I mean, like, you know, I order manga for the shop and just like so much of it. It's just think it's fair to say that it's a generally thirsty genre. Not always and not everywhere, but predominantly, I think. Like
A lot of cleavage. I mean, I'll say it. That's always there.
I like it. That's